Welcome back to the shop, guys. This week on the channel, I'm going to show you my new shop and give you a shop tour. So stick around. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and let's build something. So the first change that we went with is we rebranded the channel. We went with this old logo, which I really liked, and in our household we have a saying that done is better than perfect, and a year from now you wish you would have started a year ago. So when I started the channel, I went with this logo, I liked it, but I ended up rebranding, and here's the change of the guards to the new logo and the new logo hats. I really like this logo. It stands proud. It's awesome to me. So the channel is rebranded with new shirts and hats coming out. Next is my main workbench. And I have a whiteboard here that I love. I mean, I use it all the time. This is actually a router table box that I built, and I sketch out what I want to build on this, and that way I always have something to write on, and my drawings and plans are up top. Over here we have our subscriber count. We're up to 647. My last video we were at 543, so we're up 100 subscribers. Thank all you guys. If you're not subscribed, do it now. You know, I've got my jigsaw grinder, my GoPro mount that slides and swivels and faces down. All of my tools are on magnets. You guys know I love magnets. My chisels, screwdrivers, scissors, flush cut saws, you know, my wooden mallet. They all live right here, and they're always at the ready, which when I'm working at this table, it's just so nice to just grab, get them, and go. Over here, I have all my tapes, duct tapes, double-sided tapes. I also have, in this corner, my sanding station, all my grits from 80 up to 220, my benchtop router, which I use all the time, my sander, my little drills, and my router bits. This little drill is actually sitting on top of a magnet up there, so it's magnetized a little bit, which I actually really like. Another thing that I did over here that I added, which I think is a game changer for me, is I added this really nice mat from Rockler. So when I'm standing over here doing stuff, I'm not standing directly on concrete. I actually really love that. Also on this table is a downdraft table. And what I love about that is as I'm sanding here, I also have my hose to sand here. So I'm getting suction from the bottom and the top, not getting a lot of dust in my face. This is my main area. This is where I work. I actually really dig that area. Just left on my main workbench, I have the Inventables X-Carve. I built this flip-top table to save space. It actually saves about 26 inches when it's folded down. You can see a video in the link below of how I built this. And it also has a really awesome cover, which cuts the noise down, I would say, by more than half. And it keeps all the dust inside of it as it's carving. And like most things in my shop, everything's on wheels. So when I need to move this around, or say I'm doing something big in here, I can fold it down, move it outside. It's easy to transport. This X-Carve has been so much fun to learn how to use. I've just really enjoyed it. I've made a lot of stuff with it, and I made a considerable amount of money off of it. So the X-Carve is freaking awesome. And over here, I have a conversion chart for millimeters and decibels and fractions. That way, as I'm designing and doing stuff, I actually have that right up in my face. It helps me remember them quickly and jot them down. Moving over on this wall, we have our shop fridge, which is, you know, integral in any shop. Cold beers, snacks, that way I'm not running in and out of the house to get stuff. Now on this back wall, we've got something that I really always wanted. The Jet 1632 drum sander. It's on wheels, it rolls out. This is a dream tool of mine. I worked really hard to get it. I also added the Dust Right dust collection system to the shop. It's actually in the attic with the air compressor. So I'll turn the air compressor on with a switch down here, and it's up there. So we have a really quiet shop when it comes to those kinds of tools running all the time. The dust collection system comes directly down, a straight shot down from it, to the Quick Connect system. And the Quick Connect system is gonna run this sander, right? It's also gonna run the planer. Now I've hardwired this joiner into the system So it's always connected to the dust collection system. And I have about 52 inches out the front of it to join stuff. So that actually works really well for me. I love the new dust collection system. I used to have 5 shop vacs and dust deputies and relays, which worked well, but the suction at the actual unit is 1250 CFM. At the actual stations, it's more like 650 to 700. So if I was to get a smaller one, it wouldn't actually, it would cut the dust collection in half. So I'm gonna make a video on my new dust collection system. It is awesome, and I'm gonna show you guys what I did and some tricks that I did, and we'll get into that. Up above this back wall, I have some wood storage. I ended up buying these racks on Amazon. They weren't super expensive. They hold about 400 pounds. That way the longer stuff's up out of the way. You know, every woodworker's nightmare is wanting to keep every piece of wood, so there is little stacks of wood around the shop, and I really can't help that. Next, we're moving over to the Rivet Board and clamping area. I like bar clamps. They're awesome. I use a lot of the black pipe to hang stuff, so this has got all my clamps. And this is a Rivet Board. A Rivet Board is a brand of clamping board. I didn't invent this. Actually, I saw Izzy Swan make a little one, and I was like, that's so cool, I gotta make a big one. So for stuff like breadboards, door styles, drawers, excuse me, anything that fits in the 18 by 30 inch area here, I can clamp up together. I'll just take, you know, my pieces of wood, I'll run some glue on them, line them up, throw this little clamp to just keep it nice and taut. And then I use pneumatic clamps, and now it's clamped up, it's holding. So if I'm doing multiple doors or multiple drawer fronts, I can just glue one up at a time, walk away, do something else, use this Type Bond 3 quick set glue, 25 minutes, it's set up, I can pull it off and do another one, basically manufacturing kind of thing. So this was a really cool thing that I really actually use and really like. So that's the Rivet Board, that's the clamping area. Moving over to this wall, we've got kind of a new paint storage area. This is the door to the house. And I built this big cabinet and this upper cabinet to hold things that I don't use all the time. Like my biscuit joiner's up there. When I need it, I can pull it down. This scroll saw. I like all my spray paints. I use a lot of spray paints at the ready. Oils, finishes. Down here I have my walrus oil, my 2P10, epoxies and gloves and just stuff that I use. My wife actually asked me, she said, hey, are you gonna put some doors on there? I find when I put doors on cabinets, I forget what's in there. So I actually like the system of seeing what is in there all the time and knowing where it's at. Same with the pegboard. The pegboard's the same thing. All of the things like the glue gun, the staple gun, the pop riveter, you know, all of these little things that if they get stuck in a drawer, when I need them, I'm like, I wonder where that's at. And then I waste time looking for it. Sometimes I've even bought another glue gun and be like, and then find the other one later. So I like to keep that stuff up. It's just the way that I do it, whatever way you want to do it. Then we have our 2 cabinets here. These cabinets, you know, they have 5 drawers in each one of them, 6 drawers and 5 drawers. And they have these little slide out tops for extra space, extra table work. And when I put them together, lay a piece of 3/4 across there, it becomes a 42 by 48 table. That is so awesome. And I, again, try to keep those organized. I have horizontal slats, horizontal and vertical slats in them so I can change and modularize them so they can fit different sizes things. Next, we have the bandsaw and the drill press table. This is on a flip top table. It flips up. When you need one, you use it. When you need the other one, you pull it out, flip it over, and slide it back. I also have some 12-inch and 6-inch Jorgensen clamps there that I like to use. This is hardwired to the dust collection. I took that 4 inches all the way up to the back, to the 2.5-inch port, and it is like the best suction I've ever had on that machine. No shop vac with a desk deputy can even compare to that 4 inches up to a 2 inches on the back, and then boom, it's so much. In my other cabinet, this is my Craig Jig Station. And I like having this at the ready. I have a hose, a 2.5-inch hose port coming out of here with a small hose that hooks to the Craig Jig Station. This is always here. This is ready to go. When I need it, it's set up. The drills that go with this live on this table. The screws live there. I've got a little magnetized little tray there, so the Allen wrenches to change stuff, things kind of stay with this cabinet. I actually love that. And when I'm using that and not using that, and I'm running long sheet goods to the table saw, these two cabinets are the height of the table saw, so I can run them in front and have this really long outfeed table, which is awesome. And these drawers, you know, try to stay as organized as I can with all of my screws and whatnots. The Craig Jig stuff, all their extra screws and clamps and systems are right here, which is awesome. Next, we have the chop saw, which is on a wing out table that I'll just slide out and I'll wing up the ends. The guy from Fix This Build That, this is his plans. And as I wing it out, now I have almost 8 feet, about 7.5 feet of supportable space on there. And I have a fence here that I can slide and make repeatable cuts to. On the back side of this with the dust collection on that, it is 4 inches to a 2.5 inch splitter up to the saw. And underneath the saw, I have basically a cone basket kind of a thing for the dust that falls down. It gets sucked up in a 4-inch port. The dust collection on this is much better than it was with the shop backs. Still not awesome. We did that video with the little dust shoe here. That does help a lot. I would say it's about 80% dust. People that build the box around it and have the dust collection fall down the back, they're smart. My stuff has to be modular. I'm not super concerned about that. There's going to be dust in the shop. I'm getting 80% of it. Over on the end, we have the Ridgid oscillating sander up top and the DeWalt 735 on another flip top table. You'll see those all over Instagram. Again, a great way to save space. 2 tools in one spot. The Ridgid Sander obviously lives up here. I use this all the time, probably 7-8 times a week, a day maybe. And I never had great dust collection on it with the little shop backs, never. Now I'm running a 4-inch port right up to a 2.5 inch change. So it literally goes 2 inches and then it's a 4-inch suction. The best dust collection on this is that system. Holy cow, it gets literally 90% of the dust, 95. It never really worked right, and you guys know if you have one of these, they don't work. The dust collection doesn't really work. If you run a 4-inch port to it, it freaking works. And all of these flip top tables also have a drawer on the bottom, and everything that goes with this table is here. The extra planer blades, all the change outs for this, it's all with each table, and I think that to me is like so cool, so freaking cool. And down here we have our dust collection and our change for our table saw and router table. Now the table saw for me really is the pinnacle of the shop. It's the main center of the shop. You know, I worked on a table saw for a lot of years and I could pretty much do everything almost any other saw in the shop can do on a table saw, barring the, you know, bandsaw or scroll saws. This table saw was gifted to me by my brother. I actually didn't have any of this shop in the fall of 2019. My brother gave me this saw because it was outside and rusted and said, hey, do you want this? Can you fix it up? I said, sure. I fixed it up. And based off of this saw, I built this whole shop, which I think is pretty awesome. It's a Delta table saw, 10-inch. It is a little bit beat up, like I said. You know, I went to buy the new nuts and bolt kit for it, and it was like $385 just for all the nuts and bolts for it. So I've kind of had to Frankenstein it together, get it working really well. It's like an old jukebox. It runs great now. On the end of the table saw, we put an old Ryobi router table that we had, and we just stuck it on the end here. I actually didn't use this at all last year. I freehanded all my moldings and all my router stuff with my benchtop router because it made a huge mess with the dust. Now I have my Dust Right dust collection system. I've got a 4-inch port running to the bottom of this, a 2.5 up to the top, this cover here. This gets 98% of the dust. I kid you not. This is my favorite thing to use now because it sucks so much dust. It's so efficient. And again, 2 tools in one spot. That is like such a cool feature to the shop, is having that router table. So. Now I see people on YouTube say, oh, I don't want to do a shop tour because I don't want to show off. I'm not showing off. I'm showing you all the hard work that I did and give you some ideas for your shop to make it more efficient and more user-friendly. This is a 2-car garage, and that's a full wood shop now. It's a full-on wood shop. I'm gonna be doing videos on the 1632 and on the Dust Right Dust collection system. Remember guys, if you're not subscribed, do it, and do it now. Thanks for watching. I'm Stoner Ericson from Ericson Design Company, and let's build something. Ta-da!